Hello, my name is Andreas Sundgren. I come from Toontrack Music, and I'm here to present a little software that we were announcing during the Frankfurt Messe called EZPlayer Pro. Looks like that. Basically, what EZPlayer Pro is a little MIDI driver in which you can put all your MIDI from all your MIDI instruments and drive those instruments and build arrangements with that MIDI. Now, it's also a little bit more specialized for percussive MIDI files. I'm going to run it. EZPlayer Pro can be connected to any sequencer like Logic or Pro Tools or Cubase. But I'm running it out of the Toontrack Solo software, which is the free host that we provide to all our sampler users. And the reason I do that is that in combination, EZPlayer Pro and EZDrummer, in this case with a claustrophobic expansion up and running, and Toontrack Solo becomes this little mini beat workstation where you can make up new beats from the elements of the MIDI beats that you have already and save them back into the EZPlayer Pro browser and use them later in a full arrangement in your sequencer. So basically, this is how I started up. This is the EZPlayer Pro browser. And in that browser, you can see all your MIDI. So in this case, we have all the MIDI from all the expansion packs from EZDrummer. But you can also add MIDI from other samplers like BFD and Strike and stuff. And I'll get back to that in a minute, or maybe in 2 minutes. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start out with a claustrophobic MIDI just to show you how this works, all right? So what I do is I pick a groove out of the claustrophobic MIDI, and what happens is EZPlayer Pro splits that MIDI file into the kit pieces that it consists of. So I can now listen to this track. That's a pretty good basic track. And what I can do with it is I mark up all these kit pieces and pull them into the arranger section of EZPlayer Pro. And what happens is EZPlayer Pro racks up one instrument on each track and sublayer in that track. So you can actually, you have all the kit pieces to combine and control individually now. So this is a cool track, right? But I would like to add some elements that are not present in that specific track. So what I do is I add layers to the track in EZPlayer Pro, and then I go looking for other things like a cabasa. Yeah, this will be cool. And as you hear, I mean, I can audition that separate kit piece in the browser before I pull it down to make sure it's right. So I'm going to pull down the cabasa and add that to the track. And I think I'm going to find a foot stomp would be nice. That's a nice foot stomp. I'll put that there as well. And then I'll just make I'll just duplicate the MIDI file so that the whole loop becomes equally long. And then now I can play this track and I'll have a completely new MIDI track right here. That's pretty cool. Now I think it's good. So I want to save that. So I lasso it in. I go into the browser of EZPlayer Pro. I mark up my MIDI files, and then I just pull the whole thing into the browser, drop it there, name it Messe Beat 2, press OK, and it ends up here. And now I can pull it onto the next track as one fused beat and listen to it down here instead. It's really cool. Now, if I have a big arrangement and I can't really lasso all the pieces, I can also record everything onto another track. So I arm this track for record, which is the next track below my arrangement. I press master record, and then I press master play. And then EZPlayer Pro records the arrangement onto that track. Very simple. And then now I can pull this track up into the browser and save that. Of course, I can just use this tool to make, if I like my basic beat, I can just pull it out so that it's long enough for the song. I can also time stretch it to make it, to have it be played in another time signature. Now, another cool thing about EZPlayer Pro is a lot of people have several different MIDI-based drum samplers. And if they want to use the MIDI from one drum sampler together with another sampler source, they have to remap that MIDI for the drum sampler they want to use as a sound source, and they have to do it manually. And it's nobody does that. It's too much work. But EZPlayer Pro will actually translate MIDI files between different drum sampler formats. So EZPlayer Pro, the map wrap, as we call it, Covers DigiDesign Strike, F-Expansion's BFD1 and 2, Native Instruments Battery, all the Toontrack formats, of course, and excellent audio addictive drums. And basically, you can add your BFD MIDI into EZPlayer Pro by adding a path to it on your hard drive. And then you'll see it in this browser. And then maybe you want to run your BFD MIDI with EZDrummer as a sound source. Oh, so basically you just tell EZPlayer Pro to map the BFD MIDI in your browser in EZPlayer Pro to the EZDrummer format. And now you can use the MIDI from BFD with EZDrummer or the other way around or whatever you want. So you get a lot of mileage out of your MIDI files. Now, what you can also do is you can assign every track in EZPlayer Pro in the arranger window, you can assign to a separate MIDI track. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put track 1 and put it on channel 1. I'm going to take this instance of EZDrummer and put that on channel 1 as well, like that. So now track 1 only plays instance 1. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a drummer to the mix. Or actually, I'm going to add the Latin percussion expansion from EZDrummer because I want some congas under that beat that I just made. So I add a drummer, EZDrummer like that, and then I switch to Latin percussion like that. And as you can see, this is one of the expansion packs for EZDrummer. When you switch an expansion in EZDrummer, you get a different interface for that expansion. And what I'll do now is I'll connect the Latin percussion version of EZDrummer to MIDI channel 2, and then I'll go into the arranger of EZPlayer Pro and connect that track 2, to MIDI output 2. And that means that this track now only plays the Latin percussion MIDI, basically. So I'm going to go looking for some congas, some funk, and I'm going to pull down a conga beat into the arranger of EZPlayer Pro, listen to it on that track. That's going to work. I'm going to take this tool and just pull it out a little bit, and when I press master play, I get the entire thing. I mean, you can fuse it into a new arrangement. You can use it as your background drummer as a guitar player if you want to try out a riff. You can use it as your drummer in a live gig if you're using Toontrack Solo. So that's really cool. Another really good thing that comes with the fact that you can connect these tracks to different MIDI outputs is, of course, that you can add, well, I don't know, piano MIDI into the browser from any kind of MIDI-based sampler, connect any track to that MIDI channel in Pro Tools or Logic or Cubase, and pull down piano MIDI into EZPlayer Pro and listen to your piano MIDI in EZPlayer Pro before you drag it from here into your host. And I should add that you can drag MIDI files from the EZPlayer Pro browser at any point. You can drag MIDI files from the EZPlayer Pro arranger into any sequencer, basically. So what EZPlayer Pro is this little command center for all your MIDI files, and it'll be compatible with all your MIDI-based instruments in any major size sequencer on the market. There are a couple more little features that are really good. You can add accents, like if you want to crash on the #1 track, you can, if you want to crash just as an accent, you can actually put that into your track like that and play the crash like that. So now I have a crash there that I couldn't, and I thought it was a little too low in volume or in velocity, so I'm going to pull up the velocity so you can hear it. Basically, now I have a crash in this track that I didn't have there before to get some more dynamics, which is really cool. You can also change the velocity for this separate track. This menu also allows you to learn a track towards a hardware controller. So you can actually trigger MIDI tracks in EZPlayer Pro from a controller live. And it's just real simple. You just tell it what you want to learn, and it hooks up to your hardware controller, any kind of playing pad like a keyboard or like a pad control. EZPlayer Pro will be included as the MIDI engine for Superior Drummer 2.0, but it will also be released and available as a separate product as a MIDI bridge for all your MIDI instruments in April of 2008. It's going to be €35 or $49. It's going to come with roughly 75 MIDI songs recorded by David Haynes and the guy who sampled Claustrophobic for us, which is a very sought-after session drummer in Sweden. His name is Per Mikaelsson. So the MIDI content that you get alone is worth the $49. But on top of that, you get this generic command central for all your MIDI clips. And I hope you can go onto our website, check it out, and buy it.